the Griffins to be like, you don't have time to buy them time.
Let's see if that's going to be the game plan. Illinois taking on University of Guelph. Win or go home. Gentlemen, let's get into it.
And already off the kickoff, few things beat a good start. It's Guelph on the blue half. Can they stick the ball here for a little bit? Shock, not the strongest clear, and it will be Harps. Back wall to himself, can't reach it. Cleared by Navy striker down to space, and Illinois get out of a jam early.
And the good news for Guelph as well is that it really has been a team effort when we've seen them here in the spring season. All three players have stepped up at one point or the other and really shined. Like in Harps in particular in the first day, and Plasma season after season has looked very good for Guelph. So if they can bring that team effort, everyone's on their A game here, and expose the defenses and the weaknesses that Illinois have, they have a great shot in this series.
Well, they just got a great transition back the other way. Pass to the top of the box, a little bit of a loop. Harps with a top and help from Shock goes right into the net. And that actually stands way back when they took out Tie Scraper back in their own net. And it just opened up a couple of awkward touches for Illinois.
Great touchdown from Harps, too. That's a tough one to hit because it is going just past the net. He got a little bit of help from the last defender, but Guelph setting up a fantastic play right off the bat, and they're on the board first. It's exactly what you want when you're going against a powerhouse like Illinois.
I love those finger roll goals, man. For the University of Guelph to have that kind of angle this early in the game says to me that there are no nerves. We're getting 100% out of this team right now.
They said pace is what they're going to have to match. Well, game one's been a good start. Is definitely commanding the pitch so far. Navy striker able to win one challenge, but no follow through for the Fighting Illini. And still slow pickup from the Griffins, though, and it will allow a bit of extra time for UIUC to get things back in order here as Plasma drives it into the corner. Tie Scraper to Navy. He's already met and threw one in the midfield. The blue back the other way.
And two up there for Navy striker and Tie Scraper as Illinois double commit. Shock forced to go back here, and you do see every time the Fighting Illini go down the field, it's always Navy striker and Shock on the ball first. That's another shot off the backboard, turned away by Plasma. Guelph know what they're getting into, and Harp said it. Definitely want to look out for Shock. He's already had a couple shots off net or off the back wall already, but so far nothing too dangerous.
Tie Scraper puts one at the top of the box, and it will be capitalized on. If you're going to clear it, it better go a lot further than that.
And a great shot coming out from Guelph, and a great start. And like you said, not the best clear from Harps. It's straight to the middle of the field, and everyone from Guelph is poaching the top of the box, ready to strike, and they absolutely do there.
Corelli, you said you wanted to see Guelph kick them right in the face at the beginning. Do you think that's happening right now?
A two-goal lead says so.
I'd agree.
And Illinois definitely going to have to, take a few moments here in the middle of game number one to get things back in order. Navy striker trying to open a hole with a demo on the Plasma. Just missed it, however, and a nice bump on Shock as well, and Navy striker now forced into an awkward challenge. He will get there. Help from Shock down the other way, and Harp's already waiting for it. Tie Scraper there to put one on, and that's the one you're going to have to block. Tie Scraper has always been there when they needed it, and it's those situations, again, Navy striker and Shock can't get the job done. It's going to be how you stop Tie Scraper from getting in those goals.
Guelph is playing like a team that is absolutely tired of losing to Illinois. I think this is going to be a very spicy series.
And you're seeing already a 2-0 lead. Absolutely great start from Guelph, and while there has been some half chances for Illinois, Guelph have really shut down a lot of the attacks, or at least stopped them up and not let Shock or Navy striker really take away. Here comes Shock now, met by Lycan. Tie Scraper there to try and clean up the play, and he does keep the attack on. Plasma, though, great clear from him, and the Griffins get out.
They have a little bit of space to work with, but Shock quick to close the gap and force right back into the orange corner. Harps past the midfield line, not for long though. Tie Scraper returns fire off the back wall. Tie Scraper into the middle and make it into the net. 1-2, Illinois storming back.
And we talk about Navy Strike, we talk about Shock, and we've said Tie Scraper's gotten better and better, and it's great when he's playing on point here, getting a goal here by himself off the back wall, and getting Illinois' first goal in this series, very important.
There's no way you're going to entirely shut out Illinois. So sooner or later, a ball is going to hit the back of the net. Tie Scraper showing up when he needs to, energizes his team and says, let's go.
And Harps, quality save coming off of an awkward spot at the top of the box, able to get a nice touch, and it allows Plasma time to find this clear into the midfield. Navy striker won't let it go for free. Shock to himself off the back wall. It's open, and he just missed the touch. And a helping hand from Tie Scraper to keep the drive alive, but UIUC definitely going to be regretting the fact that it didn't tie the game up right there.
And you can see Navy striker on the assumption that Shock was going to get that second touch. That's a great touchdown off the ceiling. Tie Scraper again coming through to keep the play on. And a slow build out for Guelph here as they finally do push it past Navy striker, looking for another follow-up. It's a weak touch, but still Guelph weathering the storm here as Illinois have definitely turned up the heat. A lot more offensive tries and more possession on the Guelph side. With a minute left, the Griffins looking to hold on.
Tie-scraper definitely being a nuisance, getting right in the face of a lot of Griffins. Either trying to force them off the ball, delay their ability to get to it, and that actually is twice in a row now on the midfield line where he's been successful in that department. And let Illinois extend a couple more chances. It's off the back wall and into a wide open net. We're locked at 2s at 40 left.
And a lot of possession coming out from Illinois. No one to meet Shock in the corner. You see Lycan go for it, but he's way too late. And of course, Tie-scraper, that third man, he's been there every single time for the Fighting Illini, puts away the second goal and ties up the game with 40 seconds left.
Every game with Illinois is going to be a shootout. They will manage to find goals. Guelph tried to hold on. Tie-scraper almost blows it wide open.
Navy striker has another chance. It's tipped aside, and Shock will come storming off the midfield line, make it 3-2 in Illinois. They started the comeback at a minute 49, and now with 31, they've got a 1-goal lead.
And it's been a slow start for Illinois, but things have been heating up for them. Everyone getting involved on that one for the Fighting Illini, and late into this game, they take the lead.
University of Guelph will need something here in the final 30. It started off strong, and Harp's almost able to get a beautiful touch, but it's transitioned back the other way. They were expecting a touch to come through. Nobody was there, and Tie-scraper, Navy striker sitting on it. Game 1 out of reach.
A big commit there from 2 players from Guelph, and then Plasma goes for the midfield boost, leaving that counterattack wide open. The shot on target from Navy striker puts it away. Illinois have come roaring back in game number 1.
I think that was the first instance where Guelph showed that they're feeling pressure, like they felt an urgency to get that goal, and it pays for it, but hold on.
I said game 1 out of reach. I might have to eat my words as they do get an immediate kickoff goal. Navy striker definitely expecting Shock or Tie-scraper to get that ball drawn back to them. And that just left the middle of the field wide open, so 20 seconds could be more tense than they would like on the UIUC half.
Yeah, great play there from Harps. Can he do it again here? He does get the second touch, forces Navy striker to not have the best one. Shock there to clean it up. Actually, lovely touch down the field, but Navy striker can't convert.
Lycan through one, Tie-scraper, this is what they have to do. They have to put pressure on him, not allow him to buy enough time for Navy and Shock to get back, but he's done just that. Tie-scraper just able to hang on in a 2-on-1, but we're not done yet. Bounce into the middle, and that is just a beautiful challenge from Shock to tip it straight down. And UIUC, in the span of a minute, score 4 goals and win the game.
And it really wasn't the most pretty game from Illinois. They didn't come out. They got kicked in the teeth, like I said, right in the face. Really, Guelph did a great job of getting those first 2 goals. Really started to get the momentum going, but Illinois slowly started to chip away at that Guelph defense, and you could really see it halfway through that game. A lot more of the possession was on the orange side. Illinois really locking them in. The chances started to fall.
Well, to me, it just felt like Illinois woke up at about the 3-minute, 30-second mark. They were just like, okay, actually, let's play this game and get on the offensive front. And at the back end, you could feel that Guelph was like, okay, these guys are starting to step it up. This is the team that we're expecting. And they started to crumble under that. So I'm hoping going into game 2, they're like, guys, we were up 2-0 for a reason. Let's keep doing what we're doing. I saw them bumping Shock off the ball a lot to keep him off of some of those pushes. If they keep doing stuff like that, they could have an upset.
And that really was a nice job because Tie-scraper was returning that favor in the middle of game number 2 as well, extending a lot of those opportunities when Guelph had the opportunity to try and break out. And that really is Tie-scraper's calling card by time, and it wasn't necessarily on-the-ball play in game 1. Curious to see if it continues in game 2, but it's Shock and Navy striker who started off with a bang. We're not even 15 in, and it's 1-0.
A little indecisiveness here from Guelph. As you can see, Harps patiently waiting. I don't know if he got the call off from Lycan, but either way, Navy striker sees that it's been sitting there for too long. He should go, and he does. Dunks it home for the Fighting Illini, and they're up on the board first.
Kickoff, favoring the Griffins. It's going to be an awkward play for Shock, and it doesn't do him any more favors as it takes a nasty hop. Harp's able to get through one, but Navy striker having to deal with Lycan around his own corner. Well done keeping the ball close. However, he's put the ball right in the reach of Plasma. But again, just able to get enough meat of that car onto the ball to just buy plenty of space for everybody on his team. Free ball for Tie-scraper. He's actually a little bit late. Lycan off the back wall. Navy striker hits the ceiling, and that will be put into the back of the net. University of Guelph on the board at 4:18.
Fantastic play coming out from Guelph. You can see Plasma connecting with Lycan in the midfield, and Navy striker really doesn't have a good angle on this one. Harps follows the play, patiently waiting for his turn to go. It comes down right in front of his face, puts it home for Guelph.
This is exactly what Guelph needs to do. Anytime you play against Illinois, they're getting at least 3 goals. Like, they are just that caliber of team. You're in a shootout every time. Forget about some of those goals that you miss. Go for the shots and stay in the game.
The Griffins Not the cleanest attempt to push out of their own corner, and it's allowed UIUC a lot of space on the map to press forward. Skyscraper loses a challenge, and Shock is in charge now on around his own corner. Plasma steals it away. Harps actually likening him double commit. He's going to have to make an awkward turnaround on this ball, and in fact, Lycan doesn't even want to risk it. Small double commit that wasn't obvious ends up costing Guelph a possession, but they will gain it back off of the save in their own net.
Great follow-up there from Plasma just to push that ball on, but still scary situation here from Guelph. Some weak balls floating in the midfield. A good demo on Shock. That's the man you want to get it on, and that slows down the attack from Illinois.
It opened a big hole for sure, but they weren't ready to make that bounce, or make that read on the bounce, excuse me, and Skyscraper has pushed the ball back into the Griffins' corner. Maybe to continue, he will be denied by Harps as well as get demoed on the blue line, and he will be sent back to his own half. Shock to the back wall, easy clear for Plasma, already waiting up there. Skyscraper, a lot of space to work with. Harps trying to close the gap, and Lycan needing to keep that ball close. Might have got too much of it. It's off the back wall for Navy Striker, and it's off the side wall. Shock is, of course, there to follow up. Be a gentleman, Navy. Steal it away, why don't you?
Takes it away from Shock, but it's a great play. That's a ball hit with pace off the backboard, forces the defense to react sooner than they like, and Shock able to follow it up. Of course, Navy Striker steals it away from his teammate, but either way, the Fighting Illini get another goal.
And that's what you were talking about in that first series, Gurley, the ability to change pace. If they were able to keep that ball a little bit closer because they had a little space to work with, just got a little too much mustard on it, and they put it right into the waiting hands of UIUC, and they got punished for it. Back wall, free ball for Guelph, kind of came out of nowhere, and Harps and Plasma link up to make it 2-2.
And Guelph did this in their last game, punishing big mistakes coming out from Illinois. This all starts from Navy Strikers' miscue on the corner there, on the corner of the goal. Slows up the ball, the rotation has to come back for the Fighting Illini, and the Guelph players keep pushing, they keep fighting for another goal, and they put it away.
I'm loving this side of Guelph right now. We've seen them before, and they like to punish teams' mistakes. This is the first time we're really seeing them consistently take the destiny into their own hands.
Plasma has to buy time. Navy Striker trying to force the issue. Skyscraper has Shock off to his left, but he goes for the net, and it will actually be a beautifully placed shot. Forget the pass, just put the ball in the net, make it 3-2 UIUC.
And nobody goes for Guelph here. Skyscraper, it's a shot on target, but it's not hard, and it's placed just fine in the back post, but nobody jumps for it. Plasma was up top, Harps was on bottom, nobody goes for it, and again, Illinois in the lead.
That's the first goal that really makes me concerned for Guelph, because that was one that they could have saved.
Yeah. And it's those opportunities that you give away that will absolutely be punished, as battling for possession again. Skyscraper is forcing Lycan to smash it off his own back wall. Shock is waiting for it. He wants two, and he just misses it. That's second time today, but who cares? Navy Striker right there to help him out. The lead 2 for the Illini.
And the threat from Shock coming down on the second touch there. Harps couldn't get there, and then Navy Striker, great placement up and over Plasma, especially when he's turned sideways. It's tough to get around on that angle. And Guelph give up another one. Illinois now up by 2.
This is why I was concerned about that last goal, because Illinois are going to make plays exactly like what we just saw. So if you're giving goals away too, you have to really step it up on offense.
Navy Striker not able to get a handle off the kickoff ball to the top of the box, and Harps is denied by Shock, just able to get enough under it to tip it off the back wall. And Guelph will be turned away, and it would have been such a massive goal as it's put towards the top of the Guelph box for Skyscraper, and a 1-2 tap just off the mark. Shark will be there to finish the job, and Skyscraper is getting the job done today.
And that's a great touch from Skyscraper. You see Harps, he's just left dangling there, couldn't react in time, and it comes off the post, skips out to Shock, and he reacts perfectly. Illinois, 5 goals to their name in game 2.
Shock is an absolute gunslinger right now. Quickest draw in the North. To be able to get that kind of velocity and that impact, this is why we were like, he's the best player in CR, or that we've seen in the North.
Well, they pick up another kickoff here. Lycan trying to keep the ball right next to him. They missed the touch, though, and Navy Striker, he knew Skyscraper was behind him. He's willing to take the risk, and it pays off.
The ball given away from Harps there, and then Lycan, not the best touch as it comes straight down to an Illinois player. Navy Striker's there to punish, and they always will be there to punish with light clears coming out. Illinois running away with game 2.
Kickoff in favor of Guelph again. They've actually got a fair bit of pressure off the kickoffs in the series, but UIUC have always been able to find a way to get out of it fairly early on. Not so this time, as Shock is able to tip that one into his corner, but slow pressure coming through for the Griffins, and it will allow Fighting Illini to get their feet back under him. Navy Striker trying to keep it close. He's through 2 in the midfield with a nice challenge. Help from Shock, actually put one on target, and Lycan is just able to get it off the back wall, but 6-2, a minute left. Game 2 is again put further out of reach as Shock and Tie Scraper will link up one more time.
And Guelph are really struggling to keep up the pace from Illinois. They've really started to wake up here in the Fighting Illini. Tie Scraper goes over one, throws it around the backboard, the back wall, excuse me, and Illinois just first to the ball, even with Guelph players in the net.
Illinois is playing with so much confidence right now. The moment Tie Scraper goes around that corner, Navy Striker just takes his hands off the controller. He's just like, that's a goal.
This really was a little bit of what we were talking about in the pregame. History has definitely favored UIUC versus Guelph, and if the first 2 games in the series are any indication of that, the offense rolling for UIUC. They knew they had to keep up with the pace, and they've done an all right job of it, but every now and again, something is Gus John.
Oh, he reacted.
Nice adjustment from Harps. That one almost got away, and they would get one back, but 30 seconds left, a little too late.
Yeah, I made that noise because it's such a tough bounce off the crossbar there, and Harps does a fantastic job adapting to it. He thought maybe it might just come square off the backboard, but instead comes down off the crossbar, and reacts, puts it away for the 3rd goal for Guelph.
This game might be out of reach, but I feel like they needed goals like that to show to themselves they still can make those types of plays. Excellent pass play, excellent angle. Guelph can still take this series.
In the final 15, ticking down, still the beneficiaries of the last few opportunities will be the Griffins, but again, it's just to really see if they can get something going, moving ahead into game number 3. And it really was a fairly close game. 2-goal deficit until you really hit that minute 45 mark, and then bam, bam, bam. 3 quick ones from UIUC just put the game well out of reach late in the game.
Yeah, it felt like, again, Illinois really heating up here in game 2. They kind of came out slow in game number 1, hit the ground running in game 2, and while Guelph are able to put 3 on the board, it's tough when you give up 7. And I really think it comes down to punishing Illinois when the chances arise, but you have to slow them up on offense as well. Navy Striker and Shock are just having a field day in the offensive third, and it's really been nothing from Guelph to stop it.
Illinois has incredible technical play, and it's easy to have muscle memory and just react to situations. When you're on the other side of that, Guelph, I feel like they're spending a lot of mental energy to play at that level. I'm wondering how much gas they have left in the tank. What adjustments do you really want to see from them going in this next game?
Well, the hard thing about it is the reason when you play against mechanically tough games, you see it against teams like Cloud9. It's how do you stop people that you're not sure exactly what they're going to do with the ball, and that's the benefit of being at the top level of play is you can always figure out exactly what people are going to do in the ball. And it's exactly right. You are spending too much mental energy trying to figure out what they're doing. And because you can't quite suss it out, it's that few extra milliseconds that it really takes for you to make that adjustment. And the way to beat that is you got to just put that all away and say, let's just go hit them right in the face. You can't think about it too hard. Just dive at them, force them to do something. Because if the guys who you can't stop are doing things that you can't stop, just send everything you got at them and hope somebody makes a play. Because that's all you can really do. Force them to make a play.
Going into game number 3, can University Guelph make these adjustments? Let's find out.
And it will be Shock keeping the ball close, and he will not quite execute. Navy Striker trying to keep the pressure up, and that's half the battle. You have to put the pressure on the other team to beat you, is really what I want that all to boil down to. If you say, hey, come and beat me, and they do it, then fine, fair play to them. But don't just sit there and be like, man, how do we deal with it? Go at them and see what they do. As that one will be into the back of the net. Navy Striker wins the challenge, and of course, Tie Scraper's right there.
And Navy Striker goes over 1 and then wins the challenge on number 2. Tie Scraper sitting in the middle of the box there. At Illinois, it's that relentless pressure that we see in the first 40 seconds that break down the defense of Guelph. A little slow to react from the Griffin side, and Illinois make them pay.
I always want to see how Guelph responds when one of these goals happens. Illinois is going to score. You have to just let that go, get back on offense, and continue to take the fight to them exactly like you said, Chiefs.
The ability to change pace is so valuable in Rocket League, and UIUC absolutely do a great job of that, always keeping the ball close when they can. And here's a chance for Harps to do just that, but unfortunately a missed execution. Plasma, it would have been pretty, but just a little early, ends up tipping it to the side.
But it's good pressure from Guelph and a big
Second
bump.
chance.
That's what you want from the Griffins. Harps find the back of the net with a big bump there from his teammate, and they respond back to Illinois.
And Lycan just tips one right off the ceiling again. Tie scraper, you got to be able to put pressure on him because sometimes you won't be able to make the play, and it is helpful that you did get the big bump on Navy Striker to make sure they got out. So continued pressure nets them one.
Down but never out. University of Guelph proved to us yesterday that you can never entirely write them off. They're climbing their way back in.
Well, they win another kickoff and actually get it back the other way, and Tie Scraper is able to just get there. He's in a race against Shock, and Harps, it's actually a decent challenge, but he's going to need help. And Plasma is hunting demos, and he just comes up empty, but that might still be enough. They did open the door a little bit. Chance for Harps now, and it's a weak shot, and Shock is able to easily come off. And Guelph generated plenty of opportunity, but just couldn't quite get it on.
And there's another one now. Harps has a free shot on target,
There we go.
puts it away, and all of a sudden, the Griffins offense is coming alive. They're finding the plays in the corner, they're passing out towards the midfield, and more importantly, they're capitalizing on the mistakes from Illinois. That's a mistouch from Shock straight to a player on Guelph, and they're there to put it away.
Guelph is playing like they don't care who they're playing against right now. They're playing their version of Rocket League. They're punishing mistakes. They're finding these touches. They're finding these passes. Guelph is showing up right now.
Nice touch from Plasma again to generate pressure off the kickoff. Call him out, absolutely. Dive at him, make him beat you. And Shock down into the midfield. Navy Striker blasts one to the back wall. Cleared away by Lycan, and a quality touch at that. Tie Scraper is just there to continue the play, but missed touch from Shock, and Navy Striker's on his own with 30 boost.
Shock got clipped there by Lycan, and here's Plasma now.
They want that bump in the net. They know.
They're getting more physical, and it does work against this Illinois team, especially if you can get them frustrated.
Plasma just gave space to Navy Striker, and it allows him to find Shock, and thankfully nobody's there to find the touch off the back wall. And that's really what you can't allow, is if you give them space, they will absolutely make you pay, and they got away with one there. Navy Striker to the back wall, Plasma to clear, free ball for Lycan, and then he just crushes it to try and get it over Tie Scraper's head. Put him in a bad spot. It's what you need to do, and they cannot capitalize. That is the one you need to score if you want to beat UIUC.
And you said it in the pregame, Achieves, you got to expose Tie Scraper when he's left alone. Navy Striker and Shock have double committed quite a bit in the series that we've seen, and they've gotten away with it. That's one you've got to punish if you're the Griffins.
Either way, they still hold on to the lead. Lycan trying to force one with a tough challenge out of the corner. And an awkward ball right in front of the UIUC net off the back wall, and Navy Striker's the only one there for it. We clear Lycan to the back post, and Tie Scraper in time. Save found, but this is looking dangerously similar to game number one, where out of nowhere, UIUC just found goals in the final minute or so.
For Guelph right now, they're playing extremely good offense. They're really locking in the Fighting Illini and not letting them out. They're owning the resource game as well. A couple times now seen an Illinois player really have nothing to work with on their goal line, and Guelph have really started to expose that, and I think they're slowly starting to figure out this Illinois defense.
Shock trying to keep the ball close again. Plasma actually elects to wait for him. He read that Shock was bringing that one down, and he's able to make a decent challenge, but nobody from Guelph able to follow up, and UIUC breakout. Pass to the middle for Tie Scraper. Harps is there to meet it at the top of the box, and Lycan to continue the push back the other way. Kick to the top of the blue box, and Harps is there into the left corner and off the mark. Hard challenge from Plasma, and you gotta hope they don't pinch this one upfield, because Guelph might have stretched a little too thin. They will buy just enough time, and UIUC can't convert.
And you got to feel bad for Guelph. They've done everything right a few times. They just can't find the back of the net. That's a big booming clear to buy him a little bit more time. And straight down the heart. He can put the game away possibly, and he does. A 2-goal lead opens up for Guelph with 34 seconds left.
And Tie Scraper thinks he's got time to grab boost because he sees Navy going for that challenge, and Navy just misplayed it, got a little too far under it, not much else to it. And that is all she wrote for game 3.
2 missed opportunities. I'm like, okay, Guelph, start to pull it together. You get a free play ball towards an open net. Nice way to close out this game.
And we talked about it before. Guelph have got to play at the pace of Illinois, and right now I think in this game they're outpacing. But hold on a second, Shock off the crossbar. That would have given them time to come back into it, but a clear from Guelph might have just killed this game. As Shock into the corner. Tie Scraper.
That'll do it.
Not able to follow up here with less than 10 seconds left. Illinois are going to drop down to Guelph here in game number 3, and it's a great answer back from the Griffins here. A lot more offensive pressure, a lot more possession, really making Illinois think about when they want to break out and not overcommit. And Guelph, this is a fantastic game 3.
A fantastic game 3 is right. They want one more for the road, and they won't get it. Shock says, get out of here. Let's go to game 4. Move on. And Guelph Like you said, a quality win in game number 3. Plenty of pressure applied off the kickoff, and every now and again able to pick apart that UIUC defense and just force them to make some tough challenges that just weren't executed upon, and they were there to punish them.
Nothing says, and the horsepower you rode in on and trying to get another goal when you're already 2 up at 0 seconds. Guelph is definitely trying to make a statement like, we're not going to stop. We are back in this series. We can potentially take it from you. We don't feel like losing to Illinois again. One of the things I think was a big change going into that game for Guelph is Lycan. Lycan really showed up yesterday in their offense, and we started to see more instances of that, and they were able to keep the pressure up.
I think all 3 really stepped up here for Guelph. I think across the board, it was just a better game from all 3 players. They're locking in Illinois. They're making it tough for them to break out. They're owning the boost game, more importantly. In a game like this where Navy Striker and Shock do control most of the resources, it's great to see Guelph shutting them down.
Going into game number 4, will Illinois change up the pace a little bit to try to get back on top? Let's find out.
And this is a big game 4, and it will start off well in favor of UIUC. Shock has the top right corner, and he will take it.
And that's a bad touch there from Plasma. Just sets up Shock like he's on his own team there. Puts it to the back of the net there. And Illinois strike first in 6 seconds.
I was wondering if they're going to change the pace up. Apparently, supersonic speed seems to be the choice.
An ill omen for the Griffins, to say the least. You come back with a strong win in game 3, and you're thinking, let's equalize the series in game 4, and it takes 6 seconds for UIUC to put pressure on you, to put one into the back of the net. Would like to see a quick answer here for the Griffins. They might find one. Plasma is able to challenge Shock, but beautiful timing and management of speed on the back wall by Shock, able to keep the ball close, but still able to get through to Tie Scraper as Guelph keeping up the pressure. Navy Striker actually is uncontested at the midfield line on the clear, though. And Guelph have allowed UIUC out, and Shock has just met at the top of the box. Tie Scraper to follow through, and they did not see that one coming. Well played, Tie Scraper again.
Well played from Tie Scraper. Here is Shock trying to put the shot on target, and he just pops it over Harps there, and Shock realizes the net's wide open, just got to put the ball in there. And Illinois in the first minute up by 2.
And Guelph, rough first minute to say the least. And it really is just every now and again they allow UIUC off the hook for free, and it's come back to bite them a couple times in the series already. They're going to have to find a way to keep that pressure up consistently, as Harps has Plasma. It's down to him, and Navy Striker, a good read. Already headed that way. Lycan to continue the press. Shock able to go under him and keep the ball close.
Guelph really haven't found consistent pressure there. You see the demo on Navy Striker opens up some space, but still Illinois and Tie Scraper able to break out.
Oh, big miss from Lycan. It'll put Plasma in a rough spot. However, Shock a little bit slow on the pickup, and it will be Guelph, now, with a free chance to break out. And can they get anything going for it?
And here's Harps now, just Shock in the net, looking for a pass across, doesn't get it. Still dangerous here for the Fighting Illini, but gets some help out from Navy Striker. The Griffins still pressing on, trying to find some sort of shot, put together some sort of attack, but again, the Fighting Illini get out with a long clear.
And Shock not challenging that ball on his own back wall, as Lycan diving off his own back wall, able to make a nice save, but Shock not challenging that one back on the other side of the field. Really said, beat me if you can. And Guelph just couldn't execute. Harps now to the side. Lycan was in time. Tie Scraper did miss. But Navy Striker is the one who comes up with the ball, and Shock trying to keep the push going. They will secure their own corner boost, however, for the Griffins, and they're through the midfield line. Tie Scraper on his own, and that is a great time challenge to push that one back into the Guelph half.
So far, the offense just has been absent for the side of Guelph. Carly, what do you think they need to change up here?
Well, I think it's about attacking the net. They've gone down into the corners a few times. This is a good opportunity off the backboard, looking for the follow-up now. Not there, or was there, but turned away by an Illinois defender. Still the attack on. Nobody there now for the Griffins. And again, Illinois let out.
And Lycan it, I'm so glad that it went to his camera, because he had 60 boost on the midfield line, and it surprises me that he wasn't up to challenge that ball, because he definitely had the resources to be there. But Lycan now has another chance to continue the play, as that is tipped away. Plasma will be too slow, and he didn't have the boost, and Tie Scraper says, get off of my pitch. 3-0.
Big booming ball downfield. Great pass out from Navy Striker. Just catches Plasma out in no man's land. You can see he was already heading back. He knew the mistake he made, especially with no boost. Couldn't pick up any pads either. I don't even know if it would help him much. And a big, long, booming shot from Illinois put him up by 3 goals.
There's a very thin line between confidence and arrogance. The moment Plasma moved up on that ball, I was like, this is going one of two ways. He either gets the touch, or that's a free goal for Illinois. It's the latter.
And 2 minutes remaining as well. A lot of pressure on Guelph to push real hard, and one more. 4-0 would be just too much to overcome, and it will not come from that. Plasma able to make a nice stop, but Skyscraper keeping things going in the orange corner. Harp's able to break out past the midfield line. They almost got the bump on Shock, but he still got him beat, and he's able to make a recovery effort. Masterful defense from Shock.
Patience from Shock really paid off there to let the play develop and see what the attacker was going to do. Now maybe a chance on the opposite side here. Skyscraper can't get the angle. Clears it back out actually to Navy Striker here as the fake air dribble goes into effect and cleared away by Harps.
Good challenge from Harps. However, Lycan a little slow on the pickup. Did read the ground pinch attempt from Shock though, but Skyscraper to follow through for UIUC. Tip to the middle, Shock already there. Back wall, Navy Striker's gonna be wheeling as he waits for this touch from Skyscraper. There he is, and it is tapped aside by Lycan. Very well done for the Griffins, but with 54 seconds, they're gonna have to break out of their own half and get something going.
Attack the net, got to put shots on target, make the Illinois defense at least stop something here. So far, like you said, Laura, the Griffins offense has really been absent.
And Illinois more than happy to just let the ball slow down and waste time, and actually it will allow Navy Striker to just kick this one away. He saw everybody waiting, said come and get it, and Shock was right there for it.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there for the Griffins. Came straight out to Shock, and he did well with it to put it off the back wall and follow it up. A 4-goal lead opens up for the Fighting Illini with 36 seconds left.
You are almost always in a shootout when you play against Illinois. They seldom get less than 3 goals. If you're not able to have that offense mountain to meet that, you're going to find yourself losing games.
So the final 20 seconds will wind its way to the conclusion of game number 4. Illinois will be taking a 3-1 lead in the series and putting Guelph on tournament point. And you really feel like the most important moment of this game number 3 was that 2v1 from Shock that just kept everything out of the net and kept game 3 out of reach. As it really could have been the start of something beautiful for Guelph. It will not happen, but they will not get one at 0 seconds either. UIUC, they've got them.
It's been a good game here for the Fighting Illini, and for the Guelph, you look at their score sheet and you see 5 shots coming out and you say, okay, that's maybe not that bad, but you really can't think of any memorable attacks that the Griffins had. Maybe the one where Shock had the 1v1 backwards, had to make 2 big saves in front of his net, but other than that, it felt like the Griffins really didn't have a good shot going downfield. So you ask me, what do you got to do to change and get back into this game? First of all, you got to put shots on target, make Illinois think about their defense, and second of all, you got to control the resource game. Navy Striker and his Shock, again, got out of hand in this game, just going down the field, flying wherever they want to, really doing whatever they want without too much care, without too much punish coming out from Guelph. If you can do those 2 things, you're in a much better spot.
Let's see if Guelph's going to be able to make those adjustments. Game number 5, tournament point. Can Illinois close it out? We'll find out in about 5 minutes.
And it's what I was after. You got to get in their face. And a couple of times in that game number 4, Shock, Navy Striker, Skyscraper, all of them had space to operate as we got closer to the Guelph net. So that gap needing to be closed much quicker. However, a free ball handed to Lycan, and they won't be able to capitalize. That is the second opportunity. Lycan able to force Navy off the ball, and the Griffins will start off well.
And to your point, they almost let this one get away, but a big bump there on Navy Striker lets Harps come through, poaching the box once more for Guelph. That's what you want to do. Take advantage when one man's back from Illinois and put the ball in the back of the net.
I think it's the Lycan factor. Very instrumental to the setup of that overall play. That bump leaves the net wide open. That's how they need to play. They need to get aggressive and physical when they run the ball down the field.
Harps gonna have to challenge Navy Striker. Free ball for Lycan. Skyscraper caught cheating, and he'll make it back in time. Navy Striker gonna secure the midfield boost, but an open back wall of UIUC. However, again, no follow-up from anyone on Guelph, just not able to be there in the right place at the right time. And Shock almost able to go the length of the field, and he just punched it off the post.
And again, it was just Navy Striker back. Now Shock racing back in time. The offense from Guelph looking a little bit better here in game number 5. Obviously getting their first goal, making that mistake, or forcing the mistake on Navy Striker, at least the bump out of him. Harps, you can see him on the back wall looking for a pass. Never came from Lycan. But the Griffins holding possession in their final third is only going to benefit them here, and forcing these big long clears out from Illinois. If you can keep them locked in, you'll break them down.
Oh, Navy Striker with a beautiful bump on Plasma, and Harps is not able to make the play. That is all Navy Striker.
Navy Striker does a great job, and you can see Shock jump in front of this ball, prevent this one from being cleared and dunk it into the net. Illinois able to tie it up.
A nice equalizer from UIUC, and again, the ball in Guelph's court as they are able to win the kickoff back to their half. Harps trying to stretch 40 boost to make something happen. He goes right through one. Tie scraper caught in a weird spot, able to find a backflip save. And Lycan doing exactly what I want, get in the face and don't let them do whatever they want for free. And that actually slides past everybody on Guelph, but they are able to make the adjustment and get back. Tie scraper using all of his boost to try and keep the attack going. And you'll see how quickly UIUC can turn it back around, denying that corner boost as well. Free ball up for grabs, and it will be Harps to win the challenge in the midfield line. And Shock, wasting all the time in the world, says, let's reset here.
And maybe not a bad play there from Shock, as everyone from Illinois up on the field there from Navy Striker and Tie Scraper. But again, finding themselves in their defensive third, and Plasma comes out of nowhere, puts it into the back of the net, and says the Griffins are here to play in Game 5.
And just a great challenge from Harps as well, and Plasma just calling Shock, says, I've got you beat. It's going to be a way easier play for me to make than you. And just great placement from Plasma to find the back of the net there, and it's a 1-goal lead for the Griffins.
That's the buddy cop action movie I like to see out of Guelph. Harps, Plasma, that synergy, being able to follow up with that kind of speed, that's what they need to do if they want to take out Illinois.
Plasma has a little bit of room to work with. He's through Navy. Can he beat Tie Scraper? Yes, he can. Back wall Shock again on his lonesome, and he's able to beat Harps to the wall first. Lycan in charge of buying time for everybody. Harps thinking about staying with it. And Lycan was also thinking about going for Shock on a demo if that ball rolled its way down the net. Fortunately, it stayed high for UIUC. Pass to the middle from Navy Striker, and a Tie Scraper just a little bit too close. Couldn't make the adjustment, and again, Shock is willing to let Guelph come at him, and still Guelph a little slow on the pickup, and they will not convert.
The ball just floating at the top of the box, and Guelph slow to react. Really, Illinois was slow to react too on defense, and that should benefit the offense. But again, nobody there up for it on either team. And Illinois get away with it.
And Shock, whenever he's on defense, that man oozes confidence as Navy Striker. I'm not sure how this one found its way into the back of the net. I thought for sure Griffin was going to be able to stop this one, but
yeah, it just gets a little bit of under it, pops it up and catches the defense out. It's a lovely touch from Shock. Give him credit. The pass on up off the wall, and it bounces out straight to Navy Striker, and he gets under it just to pop it up a little bit more into the back of the net.
And Illinois will win a kickoff as they force it into the orange corner. Tough play, Shock up for it, Lycan first. Plasma on a Fields backflip, and that will allow all of UIUC to get their bearings on defense. Push to the back wall, hard challenge. Plasma coming out of the midfield on a very aggressive dive. Just missed the mark, but that's aggression you like to see. I mean, go for the risky play. It was a free attempt.
And we're really not seeing extended pressure from Guelph. We're seeing one half chance or good try on target, and then everything seems to kind of reset for them. They go back to their own end. The clear comes out from the Fighting Illini, and Guelph have to kind of reset into the play. They don't get that extended offense that we were seeing in previous games.
Free ball for the Griffins. Tie Scraper actually going to prove me wrong as he tries to dive out of the midfield line. Plasma with space to work with, but he's got to back up and allow Shock to advance.
1 minute to go before we see overtime. If Illinois is going to be able to get one more into the back of the goal, pressure is certainly on for the Griffins.
Great bounce, double commit though, and again, Shock, we've seen him in this scenario a couple times. He's so confident on defense, he will let the defense do whatever he wants because he feels like he can pull it out, and he buys just enough time for Navy Striker to make the save. Dangerous play from Shock, but he seems to always get the job done.
Yeah, that was scary there for Illinois. A big miss there from Tie Scraper. Navy Striker there to clean it up. 30 seconds left for both of these teams. Illinois trying to close out the series.
There's a demo.
And the Griffins trying to stay alive with the demo.
Punish.
Lycan could do it, and he does. In Game 5 here, he takes the lead with 22 seconds left.
You could see Tie Scraper thinking about how he was going to have to make the play on the ball, and he jumped so early because he might have either been worried that Plasma was going to be the one to touch it or just expecting Lycan to be right on top of it.
Aggression downfield. Guelph said, you're in a nice position here to block the shot coming up. It'd be a shame if I blew you up right before the shot. Nicely done to stay in this series, potential.
And whenever they have demoed anybody on purpose, it has been Shock pretty much every single time, but they want one back!
No, it went off Harps!
And a double commit. They make the save and then give them the equalizer. Disaster.
Oh man, this one's tough because the save does come out from Plasma, but Harps went 2 and it comes off of him into his own net. 10 seconds left now, a tie game.
Multiple choice. You A, like to see it, or B, hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Not like that.
Well, they got a chance at 0 seconds. Shock will just definitely kill that one down and have things go back to a kickoff. And boy, now's your chance for Guelph to rally, as that would be one heck of a way to make your exit from the spring CRL. And the first kickoff possession favoring UIUC cleared away by Harps.
1 goal away from Guelph finding themselves in a situation where they are again met with defeat against Illinois. They want to try to keep this alive. Let's see if they can see Game 6.
Navy striker, top of the box, Shock
he's got
too
space.
far away, and yes, he does have space, and he's really going to make Plasma think. I love how he made him come get it, though. Plasma forcing Shock to make a play, and it allows Guelph to make the secondary challenge and push the ball back to the other side. Bump from Navy striker to give Tie Scraper and Navy a 2-on-1, and Lycan able to capitalize. Not a quality touch from Tie Scraper. They want the pass. Second touch, Plasma going to crush it up the field, and Navy striker will buy time.
And we have seen a great transition there from Guelph, and the 2 plays ago going down the field and forcing something on target. Here's another one. That's a lovely touch from Plasma, and Shock's forced to make a tough save, but still, can Guelph keep the pressure on? We want to see that extended attack come out from them, especially in overtime with back against the wall. This could be dangerous. It's Navy striker off the back post. Shock gets it. It lands in front of his face, and he taps it home for Illinois.
You knew it was going to be an awkward one as soon as you saw those Guelph players run into each other off the back wall. Navy, I think he wanted it on target, but it doesn't matter. It'll land right in front of Shock, and giving him a 1-2. It will, of course, be Shock and Navy striker to deliver the finishing blow, and Illinois will make it through the semifinals. They're waiting for whoever wins next.
And you really got to feel for Guelph. Last season, getting swept by UIUC in league play, getting swept in the playoffs. They come out in the spring season, and they've looked better. They put up a fight. They were able to take a game off of Illinois, and they made this series a lot closer than it has been in series past. Guelph showing improvement, but just still not quite there against Illinois. They're too strong.
That was the sharpest performance by far out of Guelph. We were wondering when they'd be able to start making plays, and they demonstrated that they can do that. You've heard our perspectives. It'd be really cool if we got some professional expertise thrown in here. We actually do have that. Carnovi's on the line. Carnovi, we just saw an incredible series in that best-of-7. What did you think about that match overall?
I was very impressed with Illinois. And I think the pressure of Illinois finally got to Guelph. They really cracked there in the end. And Illinois were just so fast. They just followed each other up really well, and they really deserved that win.
Consistency's definitely been a problem for some of the teams in these longer series. It's just hard to keep it up.
And Carnovi, I want to get your perspective. If you're on Guelph's team, you know that you're going against UIUC, a team that has been stellar in the CRL, especially in league play. They come into spring as one of the top seeds. How do you mentally prepare for a game when you know you're going against a legendary team in the Northern Conference?
Well, it's a good question. I think Achieves actually answered it earlier in the broadcast. He said that you really need to go out and punch the other team in the face. You need to apply that pressure and force those mistakes. And they did a good job punishing the mistakes, the free goals that Illinois gave them. But Guelph really didn't attack the ball enough, and they weren't in control for enough of the series.
And of course, I want to draw a little bit on your personal experience, obviously. You've been in the grand finals of a couple of different events. What's it like after you get through that semifinal match? What's it like as a team having to wait for whoever you're going to play against and getting ready for that grand finals?
It's definitely a sigh of relief to finish the semifinal and to know that, okay, you're in the grand finals, like no matter what, it's the last match. It's as equally satisfying as it is like relieving, and it's just a mix of emotions. It's really crazy. So I wonder who Illinois would want to play, but I'm sure that they're not going to stop practicing, and they're going to come out swinging in the grand final too.
You know, here in CRL, the level of play just continues to go up. We have rival series contenders and even some previous RLCS experience. How cool is it to see CRL continue to up its game?
I think CRL's definitely improved over the past little bit, and I hope to see it continue to improve. I mean, this could be the next generation of RLCS players, and, you know, they're also full-time college students, so I have a ton of respect for them.
I do too. Kronovi, thanks so much for joining us. It was excellent to get your insight. I'm looking forward to seeing Rogue in action in the future.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Fighting Illini are able to take things down 4-1 over Guelph. Let's take a look at the bracket. We're going to see them move forward. Illinois punch their way to the grand finals at least. But they have a pretty tall order if Akron or Nebraska are able to move forward.
And so if I know Illinois at all, I'm sure if I know Navy Striker at all, I think Kronobi said it in his interview there, but you know, I think that if Illinois, they come into the final now, I think they want to play Akron. I think they want to get that redemption game. They fell to them last season. It was a disappointing way to go out in the fall season, and I think they want another shot at Akron. I think either way, Akron and Nebraska will put up a great fight against Illinois.
Absolutely, I agree. If you see, like you touched on it a little bit, Corelli. I almost called you Kronobi.
I mean, some have called me that, yes.
But you touched on it a little bit. If Nebraska comes out how they played their first series, Akron will definitely have their hands full. That was a scary team, but Akron also a quality matchup waiting for us next.
There's so much pressure, in particular for Navy Striker, in my opinion, because he's almost about to graduate. He's one series away from making it to land and perhaps sealing that legacy
Here we
for
are
Illinois.
again.
But what you guys have to say, it definitely came down to the wire, I feel. Guelph just not able to hang on. 38%, you thought it was going to go the way of the Griffins. I get it. They put up a heck of a performance, but they just couldn't hang on against Illinois. Do we have another tweet? I think we have another tweet.
You tell me.
You tell me.
You read them.
DJ Meowsel. He says, or they say, how do you know what to say when casting? How can you predict movement and make calls in a fast-paced game?
Corelli, after you.
I don't. I just say what comes to my mind. And, yeah.
So for me, to give you an actual answer, no, a lot of it is really just, you know, you spend so much time casting games. You see people at the top level of things. You start to really see patterns. You see somebody mess up. You see a double commit. And you're like, all right, this is a good opportunity. And at that point, it's picking out who's in the right place at the right time. Can they actually make a play? And then it's sort of just you have to be able to pick apart the important information, and the important information changes from caster to caster. Corelli and I both like to say hit the ball because, you know, we like it
good thing
when
to
people
do.
hit the ball.
I'd preface my response by saying my sense of humor came from making jokes with my dad when I was a kid watching bad action movies. And I just kind of rely on adrenaline. Whatever I'm seeing in that moment, whatever comes to my mind, like that's just what I say. Like I have experience casting in Heroes of the Storm, just getting into Rocket League now. But yeah, that's how I approach casting. It's just me up here, just talking about whatever I see and just having a good time. Thank you very much for that question. What else you guys have to say? That was really good. Use hashtag CRL19. It's really fun to answer questions like that. We're going to take a short break. One more team to make it to spring finals by the end of the night.